Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Donald Trump's only chance to win the presidency. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. With the media and other powerful left-wing interests allied against Mr. Trump, his mandate to win the election is to convince the majority of voters that he can bring a vibrant economy back to America. It's now been more than 8 years since greedy banks and mortgage companies ignited one of the worst recessions in the nation's history. 8 years is more than enough time, though, for the powers that be in Washington to get the country back on the fast track economically, but it hasn't happened, no matter what kind of propaganda you hear.
By almost every economic measure, America's better off than when I came here at the beginning of my presidency. That's the truth.
Not exactly. Here are the facts. Median income for American families up less than 1% on the president's watch. Nearly 14 million Americans have stopped looking for work since Mr. Obama took office, an increase of more than 15% since his inauguration. And the gross domestic product, which measures the health of the American economy, has risen less than 3% every year since 2009. If that holds true this year, and it will, Mr. Obama will go down in history as the first modern president to not produce a GDP of more than 3% in any year of his administration. So that's the fact, Jack, and no amount of spin will change it. Americans understand it's much tougher to prosper these days than it should be.
I want to be sure that we get small businesses starting and growing in America again. We have stalled out. I was very surprised to see that when I began to dig into it. It turns out that we're not producing as many small businesses as we used to, and a recent world study said that we are 46th in the world in the difficulty to start a small business.
That's all true. Everything Mrs. Clinton said is true. And the reason? High taxes on business and expensive regulations. Yet, Secretary Clinton continues to say she'll carry on the policies of Barack Obama, which have mandated high taxes and an avalanche of regulation. Very puzzling. To be fair, the president now says he wants to cut the corporate tax rate, but it's a little late, is it not? So Donald Trump has the economic field pretty much all to himself. All the polls say American voters are not happy with the Democratic Party's economic programs. But Trump must do more than just promise. He has to get very specific. The truth is, China may not be intimidated into a better trade deal with the USA. Mexico's certainly not going to pay for a $1 billion wall, which they believe is insulting. And while bringing jobs back to America is achievable, it will require a big carrot as well as a thick stick. Nothing is ever easy in the economic precincts. But that is where Donald Trump will either live or die as a presidential candidate. Social issues matter little this year. Terrorism is important, but the situation is so complicated voters cannot possibly predict outcomes in the terror front. However, the folks know, they know what's in their bank accounts. They know President Obama has not helped them out very much. Advantage, Trump.